Welcome back to This Week in Agribusiness, where we get to visit with a longtime friend of ours. Notice I didn't say old friend. Susan Littlefield is a friend we've known for a long time, past president of the National Association of Farm Broadcasting, highly regarded farm broadcaster across the heart of the country, Rural Radio Network, KRVN, and you're based in Nebraska, but where you're sitting at the moment is Surprise, Nebraska. Am I right?
It is. I'm very fortunate to get to work out of my home, which is, I did before it was COVID cool. Let's just put it that way. So I'm here on the farm, which gives me a great opportunity when we're lambing and when we're kidding to be here when needed.
I love it when you share some of those social media images of what's happening there, the arrival of new life among those on your farm. And you also show at the Nebraska State Fair, as I recall. You've done that in the past.
Yeah, we as a family, we show registered Columbia sheep, and we also showed wool in the state's wool show every year. So it's a great opportunity to be there, not only behind the microphone like I am the whole run of the state fair, but to be in the show ring as well.
We've watched weather extremes in recent days. We know it's too wet in the eastern Corn Belt. We know there's been too much snow in the northern plains. In Nebraska, where you're very heavily reliant upon that Ogallala aquifer for irrigation in the summer, what's the situation right now?
Dire. I have not seen so many comments on social media asking, please send prayers for rain. You know, we know that the South, Oklahoma, Kansas always seems to need rain. And now Nebraska is in desperate need of rain as well, and then add to the fact that we really haven't had much snow. On the eastern half at our place, I think we got maybe 3/4 of an inch total the entire winter snow season. I didn't shovel once this last year. It was great for cattle in the feedlots. It was great for cow-calf, great for lambing, but unfortunately it's not going to be great when it comes to replenishing our soil moisture for planting crops and obviously getting that hay crop going, which brings up a whole nother concern of some winter kill issues.
The wind, that's the thing that's really come to mind in recent days from folks with whom I have visited and the social media posts that I've seen. It has been brutal, hasn't it?
It has, and we finally, as you and I are talking, we still have some wind. It's not as bad as what it has been in the past, but we definitely still have the wind issues. We saw gusts. If we looked at Tuesday the 12th, we had gusts of 50 and 60 miles an hour. And Tuesday morning, there was the hope that slight chance of rain we were supposed to get. There was a lot of guys out in the field. They were, stock chopping. They were maybe knifing in some anhydrous, different things to prepare for the rain that we didn't get, but instead got those high winds. And the winds have been around here for a good week plus. And Nebraska's known as being a windy state, but nothing like what we've seen in the last week.
The winds have propelled fires, certainly, and we've seen those images, not only blowing dust, but blowing smoke. They've been quite serious in some instances, right?
They definitely have. And we know that what's called, the fire that took out in Gosper Furnace County is also known as the Road 739 fire. So if viewers wanted to Google it, it's known as the Road 739 fire. Started because of high winds, knocking a dead tree branch onto an electrical line. And unfortunately, the winds, it was the perfect storm, Max. All the elements were there with the humidity. We've been in red flag warnings. I don't remember the last time I haven't looked at a forecast where we've talked red flag warnings. So it was literally the perfect storm to bring some fires.
Unfortunately, and this hits close to home for you, I know, because you have been a member of the Rural Fire Service for many years. You lost a firefighter a few days ago.
We did. Funeral services were on Wednesday for Chief Darren Krull, and it was tough. When you heard that a firefighter was killed, it doesn't matter if it's from your department or not. It's one of your brothers. And our governor had flags at half-staff. Our unicameral, which is our legislative system here in Nebraska, actually took a moment of silence. The governor, during one of his news conferences, took a moment of silence as well. It was just one of those really freak accidents. A water truck and their pickup collided in the dense smoke as they were out there trying to fight the fires. And Justin Norris, who is the Phelps County Emergency Management Director, was driving the vehicle with the fire chief at the accident. He's been sent to Omaha. He's in critical condition, but he is recovering. So our thoughts and prayers, continue with his family, with the water truck driver's family, and of course, the entire, Elwood Fire Department as they work through the loss of their fire chief.
One thing I read about Darren, and it struck me, it was kind of your stereotypical image of this rural fire service servant, if you will. I think he worked for the local co-op and then had donated over many, many years, a lot of his time, not only to the rural fire service, but to EMS as well.
Yeah, he was. He was very active, and all the things that we've read, he gave back beyond that. I mean, he was such a mentor to not only his department, but all the surrounding departments and folks across the state. As memorials come in, folks are really, praising the work that he did. He died doing what he loved, and that was helping to protect his community. I mean, we're talking 34,000 acres max plus that were burned. And as of today, it's still 75% contained. So there's a lot of work yet to do and mourning that's going on as they continue to go on the line and fight these fires.
Susan, it's a powerful reminder for sure that we need to appreciate the folks in the rural fire service, the volunteers such as yourself at Surprise, Nebraska. Thank you and all of your colleagues. Susan Littlefield in Nebraska, Rural Radio Network, KRVN, here on This Week in Agribusiness.